Dele Alli went from being one of the most expensive football players in the world at the young age of 22 to performing so badly and being so heavily criticized that at 24 years old he considered retiring.
I remember just looking in the mirror and I was asking if I could retire now.
Now, a few years later, after developing a healthy mental state, he believes he can return even better than before.
I don't want to be back at that player. I want to be better than that.
How can he believe that after everything he's been through? By enduring his difficult journey, Dele learned a powerful method for dealing with failure and setbacks. And by the end of this video, you'll learn the best way to bounce back from failure. At 19 years old, Dele Alli was football's new rising star and labeled as a wonderkid. Yet despite the immense pressure and expectation, he lived up to the hype, scoring goals and making assists left and right for the Tottenham Hotspurs. At the end of his first season in the Premier League, he won the PFA's Young Player of the Year. He seemed to carry a constant smile, and for good reason. He was well on track to be one of football's biggest stars. In 2018, he debuted with the England national team and scored in the quarterfinals, sending England to the semifinals for the first time in 28 years. After the World Cup, as a reward for his brilliant performances for club and country, he signed a massive contract to become one of the most expensive midfielders in the world. However, shortly after his big signing, he suffered a hamstring injury that sidelined him for months. This was a frustrating halt to his momentum. Then the Hotspurs brought in a new coach, Jose Mourinho, who was known for winning trophies, and they decided to have his first season be part of the Amazon Prime show. That meant everything was televised, including Mourinho being particularly critical of Dele, even calling him straight up lazy.
Where is Dele? I understood already that you are a lazy guy in training.
The media latched onto this, and from then on, it became popular for fans and reporters to criticize Dele for his laziness. So not only was he not playing much since he was disliked by the coach, but it became easy for fans and media to tear him down too. At this point, Dele seriously contemplated retiring from the sport he loved at the age of 24.
For me, that was heartbreaking to even have had that thought at 24 to want to retire.
While that ridiculous idea might have passed, the uncomfortable position he was in was too much for him to deal and perform with, and he began to abuse alcohol and sleeping pills.
I got addicted to sleeping tablets.
And shortly after, he was shipped on loan to a small club in Turkey. He was at rock bottom. Just a few years earlier, he was one of the best players in Europe, and now he was getting booed for playing poorly in a low Turkish league. After hitting rock bottom, he finally decided to go to rehab and get help. Now, after completing rehab and finishing up a recovery for an injury, he's in the best mental state of his career and strongly believes he can become even better than he was before.
The journey from here is just exciting.
But how is this? How can Dele go through all these difficulties and acquire all this baggage of being a failed superstar, enduring constant media criticism, injuries, going through addiction and rehab, and still remain optimistic about the future?
You can't drive your car looking in the rearview mirror.
When we encounter difficulties, it's easy to focus on them and get frustrated that we have to struggle. And it's even easier to blame where we're at in life because of a setback we experienced. However, this is a mindset of a loser, because a loser holds on to a problem and allows that problem to control their life. Dele could have said that due to his injuries, media controversies, and rehab, it would be impossible to return to the player he was, much less become even better. But if he did that, he would be allowing his past to determine his future. And while your past is already written, your future is not. That part is up to you. As Dele says, it's impossible to drive a car forward if you're only looking at the rearview mirror, unless you're driving backwards the whole time, which would be pretty impressive. But the point is,
Can't hold on to things that happened in the past. I'm just looking forward.
Place your attention on how to move forward rather than on what's holding you back. Only by leaving all his disappointments in the past can he perform at an even higher level moving forward. If you want to apply this mental technique to a competition, I'm going to tell you another analogy that's a bit grosser than Dele's car analogy, but I guarantee you'll remember it. Okay, so imagine you went number 2 in the toilet. Hey, look, I already warned you. Imagine you went number 2 in the toilet and just left it there without flushing. What would happen? It would stink, right? That's just like your performance. If you hold on to a past failure in your mind as you perform, your performance would stink. If you want to get rid of the smell, you have to flush the toilet. Likewise, if you want to move past a failure, you have to flush that failure from your thoughts. So you have a clean and clear toilet bowl and a clean and clear mind. So next time you're in a competition and made a mistake, tell yourself to flush it and forget about the failure and move on. What happened in the past only controls your future if you let it. So instead of focusing on your setback, focus on your comeback.